The way that Candace Owens is doing backflips and cartwheels trying to justify Harvey Weinstein's behavior is crazy to me. It will never sit right to me at all. This is the same thing she does with Russell Brand, the Tate brothers. Like, are we to believe that she actually cares about the Epstein files when she defends other pedos? Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So we're going to look at a couple of clips from Candace's interview with Harvey Weinstein. The first one in particular, she's going to be all like, "Who toes did you step on?" Like this one, she's blaming Hollywood in general for being the people who set up Harvey Weinstein, even though he had 80 victims, Rose McGowan being one of them. And she actually said, "He raped me." But somehow Candace doesn't care about that. And she's like, "No, it has to be some conspiracy." Let's get into it, y'all. Here we go.
Are an extension of the state. And so that is why when I ask you those questions, and I was not surprised when they chopped up Justin Baldoni's lawsuit because he went after the New York Times. You can't win against the New York Times. Judges have lost going after the New York Times, saying that the New York Times was defaming them, as I've shown on my show. When I look at that, and I think that the New York Times was initially the people behind them went after you, I do think that you stepped on somebody's toes. Like there's somebody's toes that you stepped on that you may not have been aware of when you were in Hollywood because you had a lot of power. You had a lot of power.
And that's the thing. It wasn't like Harvey Weinstein didn't have any power. He had a lot of power. If you wanted to be in Hollywood and get an Oscar, they said, "Hey, go to Harvey Weinstein." Remember in Tyler Perry's lawsuit, he mentioned something to the Derek Dixon guy, said, like, "Oh, well, the guy who could have got you an Oscar is in jail right now." He was talking about Harvey Weinstein. This was a well known, open secret that Harvey Weinstein, if you wanted to get ahead, and you wanted to get an Oscar or be in a big role, sleep with Harvey Weinstein. He's the man who can get it for you.
I agree with you, Candace. Looking back on it, there are definitely people, I can't say who, but
Why
there are
not? Why
people
can't you say who? What do you have to
because I
lose?
because I'm not sure that I'm right,
Then you say,
and
I think,
I
maybe.
I I will say that I think there are people whose toes I stepped on, and I will also say I think there are politicians whose toes I stepped on, and as a result of the two forces mingling together, and you throw in the New York Times, and you have enormous prejudice against me, an enormous fight against me, an enormous I don't know what to say, just a force against me of all these forces coming together. But it's weakening. It's weakening. It's weakening because of you. And I can't tell you that having done your interview, how many people
Now, if he's leaning on Candace to be the person to help him out, he in a world of hurt. But I want to say this. Remember, she was like, "Why can't you just say I think?" Because Candace, she talks in matter of fact, but not really. If you pay attention, she'll say my opinion or I think that this is. And anybody who knows the law knows that in my opinion or I think, or if you say the world famous allegedly, it saves you from taking any accountability for something that you said. This man is actively fighting a case. He would be dumb just to throw anything out there, but Candace doesn't care about that. All she cares about is getting the views. Let's be honest about it, right?
come up to me in whatever little street credence I have now. Cops come up to me, workers come up to me, wherever I'm at, wherever I'm out, people come to me and say, I saw you on Candace. I saw you on Candace. Keep up the good work. Keep up your good work because you're cracking that system. And Clark Patterson is out there cracking that system too. It won't
Keep up the good work. Keep assaulting and abusing women. Yes. Keep up the good work. You're doing great, Harvey. You're doing great.
permeate forever, and it's not as strong as it thinks it is.
It's not, and we're seeing that the fraying is happening now, but I really want to push you on this point, Harvey, because I think it's very significant. Who were the politicians' toes that you stepped on? And not we're not making any allegations against them, but it certainly it's interesting. It's be an interesting rabbit for me to chase to know which politicians you think you may have upset because I'm telling you the New York Times is an extension of the state.
Well, I think that, with the Amber situation, you know what I mean? I got off with not even a misdemeanor. I just got off with you know, just an understanding that Amber was an unreliable witness. This is the woman who taped me, made the telephone call, set me up with the police officers, and the police officers wanted to
The
prosecute
decoy.
me. And I think that as a result of me getting off, what I had was I got jurisdiction in Italy. And in Italy, I got my people to go to the judge in Italy and open up sealed paperwork, which admitted that when she was 17 years old, she was living in a house paid for by her pimp, 5,000 a month, and getting $1,000 a month sexual congress for having sex with this guy. Not her pimp, I guess her boyfriend, whatever, but she was paid for sex. And then she also went to
So she was 17 being paid for sex. Does he not realize like how 17 she was a minor? Like you're talking about a minor who got paid for sex. This is what you're saying, Harvey. Like make this make sense. What does this have to do with anything?
a party, a bunga bunga party with the Prime Minister of Italy, Berlusconi, and she also complained to the press about that. She later on said her boyfriend raped her in Italy, and she had huge, huge press. So when this situation happened with me, she just wanted huge press, and she got huge press. She became a famous person. But when I got off,
Mm.
Cyrus Vance, who was the district attorney, was accused of leniency in my situation. And then when the New York Times published its piece, they went after me hell to leather. So I think Cyrus Vance was one of those people who wanted to see me, you know, uh, um, you know, screwed, and certainly went out of his way, you know what I mean, with an incredible, you know, force that they put together in the district attorney's office to convict me the first time.
I've said it before and I'm going to say it again that I am pro-life. That means standing with mothers before.
So he didn't actually really say a politician at all. But again, this goes with the oh, they were trying to set me up, they're trying to get me. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward because it seems like Candace was trying to press him to say Israel, and he didn't say Israel at all. It was almost like she was shocked by his answer, like, oh wait, he's not gonna say Israel? He didn't say Israel, Israel or the deep state or Hollywood, the elites, they got you. So let's go ahead and pay attention to this clip, you guys. Here we go.
.com with promo code Candace.
After this damn advertisement she got. Hold on, y'all.
Also, if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know that you heard about Cozy Earth right here on my show because your bed should be more than just a place to sleep. It should be your happy
Oh
place.
my God.
Is that possible? You know, Harvey, I had a very interesting conversation recently with Courtney Love, of all people. And she
Oh
had
my
a,
God.
yeah. She had a very interesting take on things. She says a lot, and I think that there is a lot of sense to what she shares. And something that she was speaking to me about regarding cases is that she said that in Hollywood, she was aware that sometimes the press will go after someone, and she wasn't referring to your case because they want publishing rights. Like she's like, you know, a person grows too big, or they own a catalog of something, and then they'll start making up rumors about this person. The next thing you know, he's forced to sort of sell his company. Kind of similar, by the way, with what happened with Michael Jackson. If you take a look at that case, he had almost owned the Beatles catalog. He was definitely fighting Sony and winning, and then suddenly these allegations began swirling. And so in my mind, I thought, you know, Harvey Weinstein, he had a lot. I mean, you had the greatest movies that were.
Michael Jackson was found not guilty. That's the difference. Michael Jackson was always innocent. Harvey Weinstein, no, not innocent at all.
In Hollywood, you had a lot of power, and I'm wondering if there was anybody in Hollywood that you may have been fighting with at that time, like
Here
whether
we
it
go.
was, you know, another producer or another company or an individual that just anything that could have been going on, because I think there's
I mean,
something bigger
there
happening
wasn't
here.
there wasn't a fight per se, but nobody enjoyed the inner sanctum of Hollywood did not enjoy my success. The people enjoyed my success. The people who went to movies, the young filmmakers, the people who believed that they could do it too if they just had an opportunity to do it. But the establishment, I would not say was my friends.
Right. And
Mm.
what is the establishment in Hollywood?
It's normally the big studios, you know what I mean? And it's the big studios, but I can't say that they put me into a New York Times article. I
No.
can't I can say that there was animosity,
See, she was like, what is the establishment? She wanted him to go in further detail.
but I can't say that they were part of this.
Right. No, I'm just wondering, like, who in the end, who owns all those movies now?
The
Who owns your
attention.
catalog? What
We
happened to your
sold we
company?
sold the we sold the catalog to a company called Be In, what I mean, which is owned by the Qatari government.
Oh,
Interesting.
And we sold the other part of the library to a company called Spyglass
oh.
and Lantern, which is owned by the Saudi Arabian government.
Very interesting. I'm asking these questions because my investigation into this isn't going to stop with the conclusion of your trial. I just think that there was something more sinister that was happening. I've always had that instinct, and on the basis of things that I've just been reading this year about Hollywood and the things that have happened, I do think that it was very intentional. So, what happens now with your case?
No, he was the sinister man. All those women that he abused, he's the sinister one in here. And here's the thing. It's kind of like when I hear arguments for R. Kelly is innocent and they were trying to set him up. And it, no, he did the crimes. He did the crimes. Just like with Jeffrey Epstein, he did the crimes. Like, what are you guys talking about? This man is an abuser. He is a rapist, as they would say, because the algorithm, I can't say the real word, but he is all of these things. Now, you can come up with, oh, well, they really wanted his catalog, but they can't just literally drum up charges for sexual assault, sexual abuse. They can't just drum up those charges out of nowhere. Those are particular charges. Now, when it comes to money laundering and those are kind of things that can be a little objective, right? But something such as sexual assault, sexual abuse, like that's what it is. Now, unless the victim or the plaintiff is lying, then that's one thing, right? But more than likely, those situations are like, okay, this happened. Like, this is what we're charging you with. And there's too many different women for Harvey Weinstein to try to come out and say, oh, no, it's not like this, it's not this. And throughout this interview, they use specific examples of things that, oh, well, he won this. Oh, remember he got a mistrial for this. But that does not make him innocent at all. And it's just crazy how Candace goes on these rants and try to talk about how she's trying to protect women and get all these pedos up out of here, but yet she will protect men like Russell Brand, the Tate brothers, specifically Andrew Tate and Harvey Weinstein. And it's all like, lady, what are you doing? That's why I said in the beginning of the video, like, do y'all think she actually cares about the Epstein files? No, this is just a paycheck for her. Because I noticed something with Candace. She will not say Trump must be on those files. She will skirt around like, I can't fathom why he's trying to protect the predators. Lady, because he is one of them. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. Please go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys for being here. Deuces, everybody. But we out.